us now to talk about some of the important things in nature in our West Bloomfield community is Lauren Azoury, Parks Naturalist for West Bloomfield Parks. Lauren, thanks so much for joining us again today.
Hi, Maddie. Happy Earth Month.
Yes. So, Lauren, one of the things that has been talked about a lot in our West Bloomfield community are some of those invasive species. Can you talk a little bit about some of those invasive species, the plants, and especially the garlic mustard invasive species?
Yeah, invasive species can kind of be a gloom and doom topic, unfortunately. Sometimes it just seems like we're fighting this battle that's hard to win, especially with Phragmites, which is that really, really tall one that grows in the wetlands. It just tends to really take over and takes years to manage it. And we do have a fair amount in our township. But there are a lot of things that we can do, especially if we work together as neighbors in the community. Because if you have an invasive species on your property and you manage that, you pull it or you treat it, and your neighbor does not, it's just going to continue to spread. So it really is an all community effort. It's something that we do in our parks, as well as we ask our neighbors and our community members to learn about and do as well.
So, Lauren, for those in our community who are not familiar with some of the invasive species or how to learn about those or figure out which of those are in their backyards, in their environment, can you give us a little bit of insight into how to tell whether a plant is an invasive species or not?
Yeah, a lot of times invasive species create what we call a monoculture. So if you look at an area and it's only one specific type of plant growing, it's all looks the same. That's not really great for nature. That's not good biodiversity. It doesn't provide good nutrients. It doesn't provide food sources for wildlife. Like, think about if you ate the same thing every day or lived in, saw the same thing every day. It's not beneficial. So a lot of times when you see a plant that has become a monoculture, one thing growing there, that is often an invasive species, but there are some good resources to learn what they are. You can always come to a nature program with me. We always address invasive species on our hikes, so you can get up close and personal with them on trails in our area. But Oakland County CISMA, CISMA, is also a very good resource. They've got great handouts as well as good visuals on their website. But the one that you would notice right now that is just starting to bloom is garlic mustard.
And then, Lauren, you guys have those garlic mustard stewardship programs for our community members. Can you talk a little bit about that and how members in our community can get involved and a little bit of overview into the programs?
Yeah, so a quick thing about garlic mustard, it is blooming right now. I went out and grabbed some to show you so everyone can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. It's got this like heart shape or liver shaped leaf. It's got these little scalloped edges, and right now there's no flower blooming on it. So it's just a short little plant right now with these green scalloped leaf edges. And pretty soon it's going to grow a long stalk with a white flower. The white flower has 4 petals and looks kind of like that. So keep an eye out for that on your property as well as in our parks. And if you have it, there's an easy way to get rid of it. So this is a great one to help with. This is something that everyone in the community can do and keep an eye out for. So if you pull it from the ground, you're just going to wiggle it up and you're going to make sure that you get this really good long tap root. If the root breaks off, it's going to just grow back. But you make sure you get that root, and then you're going to dispose of it properly. So you make sure that you bag it in black garbage bags, and it goes in your regular waste disposal, not in your compost, so that we don't continue to spread it. If we get rid of this and then we plant natives in its place, we'll have a much better environment for our habitats in Michigan. So we teach people about this plant a little more thoroughly, and we show it where it's at in our trail during our stewardship work days. We've turned it into something fun though, because like I said, invasive species are important to know about, but they can sound like gloom and doom. So if you come to a land stewardship program, we have a work day on May 1st, as well as a contest on May 7th. So we have 2 different events for those at different parks where garlic mustard is very prevalent and we need your help. So one day we welcome all ages. So even kiddos can do this. So it's a good way to create good camaraderie in the community, as well as teach stewardship of our land. And then we do something fun after. So once you do all that pulling and you do all that hard work, we meet back up in the evening for a nature hike and a campfires. And then the other one is a contest. So we make it fun, we make it competitive, be silly about it. And then the winner that pulls the most gets a prize at the end. So, we try to do some education. So you learn about the plant and why it's bad, how to identify it, learn a few other things while you're out on the trail, and then we make fun with it too.
And Lauren, you were also talking about those native plants. You guys are having a native plant sale coming up. Can you talk about that and what West Bloomfield Parks is doing to help promote native plants in our community?
Yeah, native plants is actually one of my favorite topics. We could talk all day about it. I'm very passionate about it, and I love getting native plants, like true native plants, into our community. We've partnered with Plants for Ecology for many years now, providing the opportunity to purchase true native plants. True native plants are much easier to care for because they're adapted to our environment here in Michigan, so less watering, things like that. So that's appealing to people. They attract pollinators, so you'll get really beautiful butterflies in your garden with native plants, as well as just their really high ecological value. So they're great for our environment as well. So there's lots of pluses to native plants, but they are hard to find true native plants from a true native grower. And we have that opportunity to provide that in our community, so that's great. We've adapted to online sales in the last few years, and we're going to continue to do that. So online pre-orders for our native plant sales starts May 15th and goes through the 19th. So there's a couple days to shop, but we always sell out of certain species that are really popular. So make sure if you're interested in the native plant sale that you shop early. And then plant pickup is that Saturday, May 21st at Marshbank Park. So you can curbside, drive by, bring it to your car. We can answer some questions as well if you're curious about where to plant them or what to do with them. But any questions about natives, we're always happy to answer that and talk with people about it because they do have such a great value and they bring a lot to our community as well as to your own garden to enjoy. So yep, native plant sale starts May 15th.
And then Lauren, as we wrap up here, you guys are also having your Earth Day celebration with it, which is probably one of the biggest events for West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation. Can you tell us a little bit about that event and how people can participate in it?
Yeah, so obviously nature is at the forefront of what West Bloomfield Parks does, and Earth Day is a great time to shout it from the rooftops and to celebrate with our community what it really means to be a good steward of the land. So we've partnered with some great local organizations that share a similar mission to us about environmental education. So a lot of our watershed groups will be there providing unique activities. I know one watershed group always does a aquatic bug hunt at their station. Bees in the D is coming, and they're talking about the importance of honeybees and other pollinators. So the reason I love this event so much is, first of all, it gets people outside in a time of the year that sometimes the weather isn't always ideal, but we have to appreciate nature in all weather. And it's behind the Recreation Activity Center where our outdoor natural play area is. So they also get to enjoy nature in different ways, explore in the mud, explore our sensory garden, and then just learning something different from each station that they visit, a different conservation message through a fun hands-on activity at each station. So that is April 19th. It's on a Tuesday afternoon in the back of our Recreation Activity Center building. We do hike at that as well, but it's really popular, so the hikes are sold out. So we encourage everyone that was interested in that to still please attend the event, because the celebration, there's lots of stations to visit and lots of activities to do. And you can register at wbparks.org. It's free, but we just ask that you register in advance.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us again here on the Splash Live. We always appreciate you giving us some insight and information into our environment, as well as telling us about some of those fun events that are coming up for West Bloomfield Parks.
Thanks, Maddie. Thanks for having me, and happy Earth Month.
Yes, happy Earth Month to you too, Lauren.